decryption, then what all information we can see from the traffic going back and forth between client and the web server. So to download the PCAP file, all you need to do is that click on this link, Wireshark tutorial on decryption. Once you visit this GitHub link, and over there, you can click on this view raw, okay, and this will download the PCAP file on your local instance, okay. And I think it has a password. So the password is infected. So thing is that there is some kind of malware traffic in that. So if you download that, the malware won't be installed. Malware won't get executed. It's just that to decrypt that PCAP file, you need to kind of use the password infected. Okay. So I will be now opening this PCAP file. So give me 1 second. PCAP file. Okay. So it's opening up. Okay, so this is the PCAP file that I wanted you guys to share. And thing is that this is actually in encrypted format, the same. So whenever there is any kind of HTTPS session between a client and a web server, it will always be in encrypted format, okay, by default. Okay, we can't see the traffic in decrypted format. Okay, so earlier we saw that, okay, if it earlier we have already seen how to see the traffic in decrypted format, but in most the scenario that you'll be encountering is that you will be seeing the HTTPS traffic in, let's say, in encrypted form. So thing is that whenever you see the traffic in encrypted form, it's not that there you can't do any kind of analysis. It's wrong. Okay, you can do multiple analysis even though the traffic is kind of HTTPS traffic and you don't have the decrypted traffic. Okay, so there are a lot of things that can be done. So if I go to the HTTPS traffic, so let me just go to that. So okay, so thing is that it seems that for this packet, there is a guy who is trying to visit skype.com over HTTPS. Okay, over HTTPS. So this is a encrypted traffic of a HTTPS traffic for skype.com. Okay, and now as you can see, we can gather a lot of information from here, even though it is encrypted. Okay, so the first information that we can gather from this is that a person is trying to visit config.edge.skype.com, let's say. Okay, they are trying to visit this skype.com website. Okay, so this is a standard DNS query that has been made from the host IP address to its own DNS server. Okay, now in this packet, if you see that a DNS response has came, which tells the host that what is the IP address of that DNS traffic. So right now we see that, okay, the IP of that config.edge.skype.com is 13.107.3.128. Okay, so this is something that you can see in the DNS packet in the response. So what I mean to say is that let's say the user visit multiple website which is over HTTPS. Okay, but even though it is encrypted, we can always see what websites the user is visiting. Okay, and what is the IP address that was returned by the DNS for that website. Okay, so the first thing that we can see in a encrypted HTTPS traffic is the website domain visited and its IP address, and we can do that. We can see that from the DNS packets. Okay, so this is something that we can look at. The next thing that we can see is, once we see that, okay, there has been a IP address of this one, and then we can see if the account, if the user client actually visited this IP address, then we will start seeing this kind of traffic. So here, if you see, once that client has got the IP address of config.edge.skype.com, that client with whose IP address is 10.4.1011 is trying to visit this IP address, which is of the Skype, okay, which is of the Skype, and you first see that there is three-way handshake that is happening first of all, okay, the one that we saw. So there is SYN packet, then there is SYNAC, and then there is ACK, okay. So first we see there is three-way handshake. So that is again something that we can kind of see in an encrypted HTTPS traffic is three-way handshake, okay. Now the next thing that we can see is that over here, this one, the client hello, okay, this is where thing is that a SSL session is about to be set up, a secure SSL setup session is about to be set up by the client. So that's where this client hello and server hello packet is. So that if you see these packets, so that means is that both this client and web server is now starting to set up a SSL based session, which will be a encrypted traffic between them, okay. And this is what this resembles, okay. So whenever you see client hello and server hello between, let's say, client and the web server, that means the next packets will be now encrypted, okay. So over here, what the client in the client hello is telling is that to the web server is that these are the kind of encryption, and like it is telling hello protocol, and then it is telling is that in the client hello, like what kind of encryption does the client can handle, okay. And what on the encryption, like let's say, as I explained you earlier, so that there is the data that is going back to the client, back to the web server from the client is kind of encrypted. In similar way, the data that is coming from the web server to the client is also kind of encrypted. The one that we, if you recall, the one that we saw over here. So let me just. So this is the discussion, if you recall, where we were discussing, okay, the public key, the private key between the end client and the web server, and how the encryption decryption happens. So if you recall, this is what we discussed last time. Okay. So this kind of encryption and decryption, what all I mean, what all encryption algorithm will be used. So those things are decided in this packets, the client hello and the server hello. Okay. So if you see over here, they are telling that, okay, what kind of cipher suit they will be utilizing to do the encryption of the packets. Okay. So this is what thing is that client hello and server hello means is that now they are kind of doing a sync up between them, like what kind of encryption algorithm they will be utilizing to encrypt the data between both of them. Okay. So this is about the client hello and server hello. Okay. Now the thing is that once this is done, what we will see is that whenever, so again, like as I told that, okay, you see the session setup, and now this is the another packet that we can see that I want to discuss today that we have not seen earlier is that as I told over here, if you recall that, okay, as I told over here that there's a this that let me just quickly draw the diagram quickly. Okay. So as I told over here, like this is the client, and it has its own public and private key. Similarly, this is the web server, and the web server has its own public and private key. So what the web server will do now, to it will share its public key with the client. Okay. Now thing is that how the client can trust that the public key that it is kind of receiving from the web